Who is your best friend? How do you know? How do you know they are your friend? What kind of things do they do? Right? Do they know that you consider them your best friend? Or is it just a one-sided relationship? Because I think I am best friends with LeBron James. He just has no idea. And I forgot my. And then what does a friendship look like? What does a good friendship look like? Answer that in 100 sentences or less. He knows everything. I guess then you're going to have to focus on this. It's a good thing you're in our class today. That's what we're going to be talking about. Okay, one more minute. Actually, 30 seconds. You're up. Are you ready? Aria? Oh. Done? Who's your best friend? How do you know they are your best friend? What or do they know that you consider them your best friend? And what does a friendship look like? A good friendship. Who is your best friend? Myself. How do you consider you love yourself? Are you yourself? Do they know they are your best friend? Yes, our consciousness know that I'm yourself. What does a friendship look like? I don't know. Send you for some professional help. Anyways. You good? Okay. I'm not gonna, does anybody want to share who their best friend is? Just so that we can get that out of the way now. Anybody want to share? No, don't want to hurt anybody's feelings. I understand. Or reveal your feelings. Oh, Chris. Yeah, that is a problem. Okay, best friend. I don't care. I do hope you have someone, but I hope this helps you understand a little bit more of what relationships look like. How do you know someone's your best friend? Whatever name it is, how do you know that person is your best friend? What do they do, Kenneth? Spend time together. Kenneth said he knows his best friend is his best friend because he spends time. Right, if I've said it once, I've said it 1,000 times. Time is something you never get back. Where you put it shows how valuable that person or that thing is to you. So your friend, by giving you time, is giving you something that he can never or she can never get back. And that is a sign of being a friend. And let's go, Nayera. What's this? How do you know they are your best friend? How do you know that person is your best friend?
I don't know, they're always there for you.
Oh, so they're supportive, right? Supportive, and maybe we'll call that sacrificial, right? Sacrificial, it's when you're having a basketball game and they'd rather be sleeping in on a Saturday morning, they come and they watch you, right? Because they're your friend, right? They would support you. They sacrifice when you're going through hard times, a bad day, they're willing to sit there and listen to you when they'd probably rather be playing the piano. I don't know if they play the piano. How do you know they are your best friend? One more from at home. Let's go. Oh, World War II. Kezia.
I think they know I am their best friends is because we believe each other.
Oh, you trust each other, right? Trust, right? You know that person's got your back, gonna be honest with you, those kinds of things. What about birthdays? Do they celebrate with you? When you're happy, do they be like, yeah, I'm happy because Jovan said, or Antique is happy, right? You celebrate with each other. You go through hard things with each other. It might not be something special to you, but because it's special to them, you like to celebrate, right? Best friends are active, right? They're not your best friend from a million years ago, right? You know you're in a relationship with them right now because of what's going on. Maybe they message you or they call you, they talk to you. Me and LeBron James, we don't talk, right? It's really hard on our relationship. I'm kidding, I'm kidding. Now, my question, and this is the stinger. Does your best friend know how much you care about them? Do they know how valuable the relationship you have with them is? They do. How do they know that?
Just know it.
You just know it. Really? You haven't told them? Tierra's going like this. This is how you know. Try to come up with an answer with words for me. Chris, how should somebody know that they are your best friend? You do stuff together, you spend a lot of time. I spend a lot of time with students. We share a lot of hard things together, right? I'm there for them. That doesn't mean you're all my best friends. Right? There's got to be something, right? You've got to say it. Relationships are built on communication. And that's going to go to our next one, right? Good communication. Right? I make fun of Jovan all the time. But I always make sure to say, I was kidding. I'm joking, right? You know, I do like his brother, but he's not kidding. Right? There's those kinds of things. Relationships, right? You got to say it. It's communicated. Why? Because there is something that we can't do. We can't have telepathical, oh, you know exactly how I'm feeling by my brain power sending it to you, right? There needs to be verbal or nonverbal things that happen. Giving a gift on their birthday, remembering their birthday and calling them. It was my birthday yesterday, by the way. I'm kidding, it's not. But, right, there's those things. You are making statements of where your heart is, right? So my challenge for you guys is you have a best friend, take time this week to tell them how much you appreciate their friendship. Because I have a feeling everybody in this time needs a little encouragement, right? Be reminded that people care about them. Okay, next, what does a friendship look like? What does a good friendship look like? Tell me. Good friendship. Honesty, yes. Right? If you hate it when they always fart when you're in the room, tell them. Next, Andika. What does a good friendship look like? What's in it? I already put communication, honesty. The teacher's talking to you. Yeah, back to her. What? Bond. Oh, common experiences, right? Common experiences, right? You're friends because you went through basketball together or class together, right? There's something that pulls you together, hardship, travel, whatever it is, eating meals, I don't know, right? COVID, common bonds, those kinds of things. Somebody at home, Louisa, what goes into a good relationship?
I think understanding and
Understanding. I missed that last part. But I think,
comfort.
Oh, and comfort. Right? Understanding and acceptance. Right? If you are looking for your friend to be the perfect person and love you and care for you in a perfect way, newsflash, you're never going to find that in a human being. So there's going to be faults in this person, right? That you're going to have to be okay with. Now, some serial murderer, right, might be a little different than somebody who picks their nose, right? Those kinds of things. There's going to be things that you have to accept, right? That goes into being in a good relationship. When I was in college, I was walking back from the library to my dorm room. Somebody asked me, "Who's your best friend?" I'm like, "Oh, Chris Rubenkoff." Like, "How do you know he's your best friend?" And I'm like, "Well, we do a lot of stuff together. Like, we email back and forth. We grew up together. We've been lost in the mountains like 6 times together. We thought we almost died." Right? Those kinds of things. Then, what have you done for him lately? How does he know? And he's like, "Well, right, I give him a birthday present," like those kinds of things. I commit something to it, and I want to grow. Every time summer when I go back, I prioritize going fishing with him, right? That's how I know he's my best friend. And he's like, "Now tell me, who is Jesus?" Well, Jesus is my Lord and Savior, and he died on the cross for my sins. Like, so what's your relationship like him with? Oh, well, I pray before I eat, right? All those kinds of things. And he basically, this guy's like, you contrasted your best friend with, you know exactly what he's done for you lately. You know why you're his best friend, with Jesus as a textbook answer. The answers I gave, I could have just read out of a textbook as if it were about Abraham Lincoln or somebody else. And it really challenged me because of what we're going to read today. Today, in your notes, make a little chart. As I read Matthew 7 to you, we're going to be learning about what a relationship with Jesus is all about. There's going to be a lot of reading, but the top, I want you to remember, no matter how far we get today, today is all about relationships. Okay? As I'm reading the text, think of what is going into a relationship with God. Okay, what's there? What is the action? Love is action, right? If you didn't take action, they would never know how much you care about them, right? If you didn't go out of your way to watch the basketball game. In love, in relationships, there's actions. What are those actions that go into it? And then I took a picture of it from my last class, so I could remember exactly how I put it. Oh, the last one is, when we read this, what are things, steps to grow in our relationship with Jesus, with God? What are the steps? What are we learning about? What does it look like to grow in relationship with him? And there's going to be a verse here that should smack you in the face like a board. Okay, there's going to be a lot. So while I'm reading and you're following along, in your notes, put down words that are like action words or steps that we can take, things that we do to grow our relationship, and then what. What can be, we're going to be talking about fruit. Okay, we're going to be talking about judgment, those kinds of things. Those what's go in here, the actions go in here, and then steps moving forward go there. So I will read, unless somebody wants to read for you. Anybody want to read for you? You used to love these, you know. Yeah. In grade 6, you would sell your slaves' hard work in order to buy these for yourself and eat them while you watched your little minions working in your kingdom. Sierra, you have come a long ways. Good job. You were so. You guys remember that, Chris? Yeah. I'll explain that at another time when we're not recording because it's hilarious. Okay. This is chapter 7, verse 1, and we're going to go to verse 23. This is all Jesus's words. The red letters in here is what Jesus said. Then Jesus is teaching. Remember, do not judge or you will be judged. For in the same way that you judge others, you will be judged. And with the measuring you use, it will be measured to you. Why do you look at the speck of sawdust in your brother's eye and pay no attention to the plank in your own eye? How can you say to your brother, let me take the speck out of your eye, when all the time there is a plank in our own? You hypocrite, first take the plank out of your own eye, then you will see clearly to remove the speck from your brother's eye. Do not give dogs what is sacred. Do not throw your pearls to pigs. If you do, they may trample them under your feet and turn and tear you to pieces. Pigs used to eat people, I guess. 7, ask and it will be given to you. Seek and you will find. Knock and the door will be opened to you. For anyone who asks receives. The one who seeks finds. And to the one who knocks, the door will be opened. Which of you, if your son asks for bread, will give him a stone? Or if he asks for fish, will give him a snake? If you then, though you are evil, know how to give good gifts to your children, how much more will your Father in heaven give good gifts to those who ask him? So in everything, do to others what you would have them do to you. For this sums up the law of the prophets. Verse 13, enter through the narrow gate, for wide is the gate and broad is the road that leads to destruction. Many enter through it, but small is the gate and narrow the road that leads to life, and only a few find it. Watch out for false prophets. They come to you in sheep's clothing, but inwardly they are like ferocious wolves. By their fruit you will recognize them. Do people pick grapes from thorn bushes or figs from thistles? Likewise, every good tree bears good fruit, but a bad tree bears bad fruit. A good tree cannot bear bad fruit, and a bad tree cannot bear good fruit. If every tree that does not bear good fruit is cut down and thrown into the fire. Thus, by your fruit you will recognize them. True disciples. Not everyone who says to me, Lord, Lord, will enter the kingdom of heaven, but only the one who does the will of my Father who is in heaven. Many will say to me on that day, Lord, Lord, did we not prophesy in your name, and in your name drive out demons, and in your name perform many miracles? Then I will tell them plainly, I never knew you. Away from me, you evildoers. Just to keep you awake, sorry. Okay, what did you guys write down? While you're going through, what words were action words? What words were what words? What were steps after you read it? Unless you were just amazed by how well I was reading. Were you? Yeah. In your notes, action words, what words, steps, what's going on? What are we learning about relationship with God here? Believe it or not, relationship with God. What? Seek. Oh, yeah. I'll write that up. An action word is to seek, right? Hide and seek. Seeking. I'll do that. Knocking. What? Knocking. Knocking. Good job. Asking. I'm putting prayer next to there. What else? Like I said, I have a picture from my notes from last class. Judging, right? See. See clearly. Seeing clearly. Oh, here. Actually, I'm going to put that in steps. Any other action words we're told here? What is the heart of that, though? What is he teaching us in that? Anybody? What about the ones about fruit? What? Yeah, so the what is fruit? The action is What? But the action would be love, right? And then the fruits of the Spirit would be. Wow, every single time that one gets me, that bell. Chris, action words. The narrow path. What is that? We got to enter, right? The action would be enter the door, right? And then another action would be, what does it say about other people? How do we love other people? What's summed up? Arya or somebody has an answer yet? Ken? What? Hypocrite. Hypocrites. Oh, hypocrites. That's an action of relationship. I guess, you know what, we're gonna put that in here. We're gonna put grounded. And then we're also going to put in here, the action is loving. Loving others as we want to be loved. Right, we read that when Jesus is talking about a dad doesn't give bad gifts to his children, right? So we give as we want to be given. Now, okay, there's a lot of action, and remember, we're focusing on relationship. I have some candies to reward those people who are going to be sharing about this. Okay, seeking. Oh, I forgot. I gotta open this up so I don't forget. So seeking, find, right? Right. Those who seek Him will find Him. Those who knock will be let in. Kingdom opened up. We're going to start right at the beginning. It talks about judging. Don't judge somebody because, right, they have a speck in their eye when you have a plank in your own eye. How does this show us and help us grow in relationship with God? What can this possibly do? Why is this included? Sorry, what? Don't be a hypocrite, right? Joel put it here. What it is in every relationship, we talked about it, right? There's an acceptance, right? There's wrong in somebody. But in Christ, we have a relationship with God. There's no wrong in Him, right? And what it shows us is Christ's acceptance of us. What has He had to accept in us to be friends with Him, to have a relationship with Him? So it holds up a mirror. Just like you walk in front of the mirror, you get to see what your hair looks like, right? You get to see what your incredible beard, right? I don't know if you noticed that. A No Shave November, right? You get a better idea of who you are. And what it's talking about is, why are you so concerned about the sin in Andika's life or Jovan's? Look at the plank, the huge amount of sin in your life. Because that sin is what's holding Jesus on the cross when He died. Okay? Put Jesus on the cross. Now, if you lived in Germany, just like those guys up there, one of the guys in the thing I'm watching as I'm preparing for my IS class, it's a German soldier talking with an American soldier, both fought in the same battle in World War II. The Germans, somehow, an entire population of Christians were willing to kill Jews because of their ethnicity. One of the things Adolf Hitler told them was, in order to build up hate, that the Jews killed Jesus. The Jews are responsible for killing Jesus. That's why He's not on earth anymore. And the Christians are like, oh man, you know what? They did that. Right? We better get rid of the Jews, obviously. No, I'm not saying that's true. But the truth of the matter is, the Jews didn't kill Jesus. They might have done the act, but the killing of Jesus was done by you and me and everybody who sinned. Because he lived a perfect life. He didn't deserve death, yet he did it for something, to bring you into relationship with him. So this whole thing, the whole Bible is a love story of God's work in bringing you back to himself because you are the top of his creation. So judgment helps us to see clearly. We want to see ourselves in the entirety, that we sinned and we needed help. Jesus died on the cross, and now we're brought in. That acceptance, we have that already there. Jesus says, I'm here, I'm ready, right? How do we begin that? How do we know? It says, seek and you will find. Search for him, right? Go out. It's not sitting here, oh, I don't know what to do, right? Seeking is an action. It's going out looking for him, right? Seeking and you will find. Knock when you come to the Lord's house, you knock on the door. It says the kingdom is open. I've done it, right? You've been accepted. Now come to the door, right? And I will let you in. And narrow is that gate, right? Ask and it will be given. We do that through prayer. Why? Because it's a relationship. If you never talk to your best friend, are you going to have a relationship with them? If you're never sharing what's going on in your life, are they really going to feel like they're valuable to you? Or that you want them to be a part of your life? Prayer, we bring everything to God. We ask him to come into our meal times, right? Before our classes, our chapels, right? It's not about us just like, oh, I've said the right answers. It's a relationship. And then, right, we will know our relationship by the fruit, right? Because if you're not walking with the Lord, if you haven't repented, right, and you've seen your own sin, like now I want this, and I've pursued the Lord, found him, and he has let me in, and I've now been grounded on that. Where is it? Where is it? The fruit one. Oh, yeah. We will bear something, right? They will know us by our actions, right? By the love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, selflessness, and self-control. Self-control is the hardest for me because I want to make fun of Jovan, right? Sorry, Jovan, right? I love eating, right? Those kinds of things. Sometimes in order to resemble and imitate my best friend, it's going to take control of my own body. Say, no, I'm not going to do that because my sins held Jesus on the cross. They've been forgiven. And because of what he has done for me, I don't want to keep doing that. I will, but it's not my desire anymore. And so with that, we get this last verse. Let's go to verse 21 through 23. Oh man, we're running out of time. Oh, yeah. I was even trying to be faster this time. I don't even know how much time is left. Oh, 4 minutes. Great. Then we go to the true and false. Not everyone who says to me, Lord, Lord, will enter the kingdom of heaven, but only the one who does the will of my Father who is in heaven. Many will say to me on that day, Lord, Lord, did we not prophesy in your name, and in your name drive out demons, and in your name perform many miracles? Then I will tell them plainly, I never knew you. You are going to die. Judgment day is coming. No one can escape it. On that day, you are going to be judged for every sin that you have committed. Where will you stand? Jesus will be there, right? And it's on that day. It says, people will come to him, Lord, I prophesied in your name. I did miracles in your name. And he's going to say, I knew you. You're my friend. Come. Or he's going to say, I never knew you. You can do things in my name, but that doesn't mean you know me. And that's the hiccup, right? The problem with Christianity for everybody who's outside of it is they don't want a relationship. They just want the ticket to heaven. Jesus says, I want this for you because I can give you abundant life. Here starts with a relationship. If you don't know Jesus, right? He says, I'm not gonna know you. You're gonna be thrown into the fire like that tree that doesn't bear good fruit. It starts here. If there's anything you leave this school knowing, whether you accept it or not, that it's not about your works, it's not about the answers you said, it's not about how many times you read the Bible. It's about, are you pursuing a relationship like a friendship with God? Because ultimately, that's what it boils down to. How will you respond is the question that God leaves with you. He's given you so much. He's not going to force you to love him. Love is a choice. Love is an action. You don't love your friend more by giving him gifts. You're showing him that you love him or her by going to their basketball game. Now, when I say love, in English, there's one word for love. In the Bible, there's 5. Describes God's love for people, a father's love for his son, friends' love for each other, our love for food, like those kinds of things. So when we read it, there's only one word for love in English, but there's 5 in the Bible, in the original language that is written. What does it look like? We seek, we find, we will enter in. But narrow is the gate, right? It's not for everybody. It's going to be different. It's going to be difficult. It's going to be hard. And that's the last thing we got, right? We love. Now that we have been set free and we're in a relationship with God, we love others. And that's in verse 12. So in everything, do to others what you would have them do to you, for this sums up the law. Do we really treat others the way we want them to treat us? I'm being convicted right now that I keep being mean to Jovan in class. I probably wouldn't want that myself. I'm sorry, Jovan. Is class gonna end? Ah, shoot. I have 2 daughters and I love them. What I want most for them, above them knowing how much I love them or how badly I want them to graduate high school, I want them to have a relationship with God. That's what I want. Around me is the door.